I was unexpectedly laid off from my job this week.
Yep, just got fired.
Layoffs in 2025, a serious warning. The massive layoffs we see in 2025 are no longer just business decisions. They feel like a warning because the job market itself is changing. From big tech companies to small businesses, workers are being cut in cold, in personal ways. And here's a key point. It's not about bad workers being replaced. Jobs are being taken by automation and artificial intelligence, AI, machines that can finish tasks in seconds.
So I think I'm getting laid off today. My boss sent me and my entire team a message a couple days ago to come in this morning in office, bring all of our equipment, and join a meeting at 10 a.m. called discussion. So I got the calendar invite of death, the meeting that is looking like I'm about to be laid off with my team. So I'm on the way to the office and let's see what happens. Okay, I'm outside of the office. I'm going in. My meeting is in 3 minutes. Wish me luck. Yep, just got fired. So we're officially unemployed. This is my notice of termination. Of course, it's soaking wet because my water spilled all in my bag. Anyways, this is now a Funemployed page. Follow me for more Funemployed content. Please drop any suggestions in the comments of how I should spend my time now. Any really meticulous hobbies that take a really long time to do, this is my time to shine. And also, if you have any ideas for jobs for me that require really little effort, pay a lot of money, and don't really take that much time, let your girl know because I will be laughing instead of crying through the pain.
I was unexpectedly laid off from my job this week. I don't even know how to start this video. Hi, if you're new here, my name is Jamie. I'm a social media strategist, and my entire account is about helping creators and brands grow. And I have spent about a decade in this field working in social media, marketing, digital marketing, all the things. And on top of it being my full-time job, I also come onto TikTok and create content helping other content creators and brands grow their accounts, make sales, find their people, all the things. And I share a lot of that here on TikTok. With my last job, I would travel a lot for work and I would vlog that and all the things. So I felt like I needed to make a video, giving a life update on that. Earlier this week, I got the very dreaded short notice meeting put on my calendar and I pretty much immediately knew what it was about. My husband and my best friend were like, no, it's not that. You're not getting let go. It's okay, whatever. And I just knew. I see so many videos on TikTok of other people saying oh, I got the 15-minute meeting and then I was laid off. And so I just knew in my gut that that's what it was. So I was a little bit mentally prepared, but I don't really think anything can mentally prepare you for that conversation. Basically, my team was restructuring and they no longer needed my role and they just eliminated my role, effective immediately. Processing that has been a journey because I've never experienced this before. And I feel like right now I'm in a chapter of my life that was completely unexpected. I'm a very type A person. I'm a planner. I like to know what's going on. I like to have goals and plans and all these things. And honestly, 2025 is not panning out exactly how I thought it would. For our family, it's been a very hard pill to swallow to just let God be in control and let God write the story and lead me to where he wants me next. But I'm trying to remain positive because there's not anything I can do. I'm very fortunate that earlier this year I launched my own strategy company by Jamie Social, and it's not something that I fully dove into on here, and I haven't 100% marketed myself, talked about it a ton. I do talk about it in other videos, and I have a website linked on my profile, and I get inbound emails all the time, and I do take on clients. But it's more been kind of a side thing because I had a full-time job. But for what it is and the time that I've put into it, my business has been incredibly successful. So I am so incredibly thankful that that is going to be something that is able to sustain us while I'm open to work. I'm just taking a leap and a chance on myself. I've never had the time to really sit down and devote full-time effort to my own business, and now I do. So I'm taking that as a blessing. I also have a lot of amazing connections and a really great network. So I'm feeling very confident that wherever God is directing me to next, I'm not stressed about it. I'm not worried about it. I obviously went through my moments of panic. And for the time being, I'm able to put my all in on By Jamie Social and focus on that, and that's really exciting.
Microsoft laid me off, and they laid off an additional 9,000 employees this week. So if you're watching this and you just lost your job, welcome to the club. The tech job market has been terrible for years, and it's continuing to get worse because these companies are only caring about money and not supporting the people who have been literally making them who they are. Losing your job is scary, and this job market is scary, but honestly, I've never been happier since losing my job at Microsoft because I honestly didn't realize how much it was driving up my anxiety and depression. Even though I haven't been able to find a job in over a year, and I'm giving up my independence in Seattle and moving to a whole different state to move in with my dad, I've still been able to pursue the things I've always wanted to do, like be creative and make content. I would have never made a leap of faith like this, so I'm kind of glad I was forced to pursue my passions. My life isn't worth wasting in a place where I'm not supported and bringing me down constantly, and now I feel like I'm free and I can finally breathe. Don't be afraid to let yourself heal and stay away from LinkedIn.
In the past, losing a job often came with signs. You could sense it coming. You can feel the sign that the employers or companies give to you. But now it happens overnight. One email, one short meeting in an entire career can be over. Companies don't even bother to show respect to employees who gave them the case of loyalty. And the irony? It's not the weak or unskilled who are let go. It's experienced, well-educated, high-performance workers, and suddenly they're competing for jobs with fresh graduates. It is an unfair bitter race, a rat race.
I was laid off from my career, my full-time job, the place I get benefits from, without notice. There was like 18 or 20 people that got laid off, probably about a week and a half or 2 weeks prior to my layoff. So according to my manager, I was okay. I was safe. But then HR called 2 Fridays ago and said, I'm not. And I need to be let go. So it was a punch in the gut. I felt betrayed by my manager because it wasn't even him that called and was man enough to let me know. I mean, a layoff is a layoff. I get it. But, I get it. The company's not doing well. The sales department isn't doing as great. So I'm good with that. But what I'm not good with is people's character, how they change. And he knows I'm a single mom. He knows I have a mother with cancer and a lot of things are happening. So just a heads up. I told him, I said, give me a heads up. Give me that much respect. I've done a lot for you. And not once. Not even a text. I reached out to him and said, hey, what the heck? Why didn't you reach out? Anyway, let them.
I think my favorite part about being laid off is the fact that so many people, bless their hearts, are like, oh, you're going to find a new job so quick. Don't worry about it. There'll be a quick turnaround. You're so valuable, blah, blah, blah. What they don't know is that I've literally, before I even got laid off, been looking for a job for months. And I haven't found one. Bitch, I've been looking. I've been looking. And I don't have one. I'm so fucked.
Both my husband and myself got laid off this past month. Me in May, him this week. And it's been one thing after the other. I can't believe how emotional I'm getting. I guess because I haven't really had the chance to sit down and cry. This morning our tenants talked to us and they pretty much told us this is our last month. So this adds to everything. And honestly, I cannot help but to feel so defeated right now. And I honestly wasn't going to post this. This is probably my most vulnerable post in my whole entire life. But then I thought about it. And I know this is going to pass. And one day I'm going to look back at this video and be happy.
How do you know this job market is big trash? Even the temporary services are playing in your face. There used to be a time, kids, gather around, way back in the day when a temporary agency like Robert Half, Manpower, Account Temps, remember Account Temps? When you would go to the service, go to the office, you would sign up with the temp service. They would give you a typing test or whatever, get your resume on file. And probably within a couple of days to a week, they would call you and be like, hey, we got this assignment. Be at this office tomorrow at 8:30. Report to Jane at the reception desk. You'll be here for 2 weeks, turning your time card every Friday. It used to be that simple. Now the recruiters for the temporary agencies are acting like they're in B613 or something. You can tell I've been watching Scandal, okay? All they do is breadcrumb you. I call it job bombing. They'll email you to pieces. They'll call you. We have this great opportunity. Oh my God, our client is seeking a blah, 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 blah. We have this amazing opportunity. Call us. We want to set up a phone screening. You go to the phone screening, you get on the line with the recruiter. The recruiter's like, oh my God, our company is hiring, et cetera, et cetera. They're so enthusiastic. And then they ghost you. All they want is your name on their roster. As recruiters, some of them I feel like they have like a monthly quota they have to meet to make sure that people are signed up, but they don't actually have any jobs available. And I know that's the market right now, with jobs ghosting you. A lot of jobs are posting, we have these positions available, but one, they've already hired somebody. Two, the position is not available. I even talked to somebody last week who posted a position that was the exact same position that I was doing when I got laid off. I got laid off a year ago. It was the exact position. I applied. I emailed the recruiter right away because we had spoken before. He calls me back less than 5 minutes later and is like, oh, actually, that position wasn't supposed to be posted. They posted it too early. We're not actually moving on that position. I said, then why is it on LinkedIn? Why is it on your website, etc.? Like, the job market is trash, but the temporary agencies are the top tier trash. It did not used to be like this. I really don't know what's going on with this job market. I did not expect to be unemployed for this long. Yeah, it's trash.
Hey guys, today's video is a little different. I wasn't planning on talking about this, but with everything happening in the job market, especially in tech, I feel like I needed to say something. Many of you know that I work in IT sales, and while I don't usually talk about my 9 to 5, I've really been feeling the weight of today's news. Microsoft, like many companies, just announced another round of layoffs. Thousands of incredibly talented people have been impacted, and this isn't just about one company. It's a reflection of how fast the world is changing, especially with AI. I've been in calls all day with mentors, with peers, etc. And this is a huge wake-up call. The skills that got us here might not be the ones that carry us forward. If you're in tech or in any industry, this is the time to invest in yourself. Learn how AI works. Learn how it can help you, not replace you. Learn how to prompt. Prompting is a skill. Learn how to automate your workflow, or just stay curious. Those small steps matter. I know it's tough out there, but I also believe in our ability to adapt, to grow, and to support each other. A lot of people are going through a transition right now. If you're going through a transition, you are not alone.
My company done fucked up and laid me off. It's been 2 days. I'm unemployed and I got time to yap. So sit down. We got something to talk about. When I tell y'all I will mop the ocean, sweep the beach, walk from Florida to Alaska, and eat a denim jacket before I do 6 rounds of interviews to work for anybody, play with your mama.
So I just heard that Microsoft laid off over 9,000 of their employees today. And if that does not make you sick, if you are a well-qualified candidate in this job market, I don't know what will, because these are not low-level employees. These are people with degrees, multiple degrees probably, certifications, years and years and years of experience that are entering the job market and competing with you, especially if you have a job like me right now and are looking for a job. It is so difficult out here. And then you add on the fact that this big, beautiful bill just got signed. So these are also people who probably will not have health care because they don't qualify for it. I'm not seeing a resolution within the next 6 to 12 to 24 to 48 months. Even just the state of this economy, I'm trying to figure out, what does it look like? What are the next steps? What are we to do? And I live in fear that I'll be laid off next, and I don't know what I will do. How will I pay my bills? But I've been actively applying for jobs on LinkedIn for a couple months now, and even a project coordinator role as a PMP certified project manager with over 7 years of experience. It's been hard for me to even land those, so keep that in mind.
Years ago, layoffs usually meant a company was in financial trouble. Today, they're simply just a profit strategy. Companies cut jobs to lower costs, boost efficiency, and push up their stock prices. But there's a ripple effect when a company like Microsoft lays off about 9,000 workers. That's 5,000 skilled people are flooding to the job market. Even so-called safe jobs now feel risky. Temp agencies used to be a backup plan. Now they string people along, offering promises that lead nowhere. Job hunting is no longer about finding opportunity. It is a draining, endless competition.
one blessing in disguise from being unemployed right now and having to kind of do side gigs. And I've been doing a lot of freelance work for different clients and things like that. You know, I'm not making the money I was making before, and I'm still trying to find a full-time job, okay? But the nice thing about it is I technically work for myself. Okay. I can take on clients and I can drop clients if I want to. And for years working in corporate America, as the world burned around me, we lived through COVID. I lived in Minneapolis during the protests for George Floyd. You know, I lived in Texas during Roe v. Wade being overturned. I lived in Texas when Uvalde happened just a few hours away. The world is constantly burning around us. And now, living in Los Angeles, ICE is kidnapping people from the streets. And now, as an Iranian American living here, I am just like fearing the safety of my family. And there's a lot going on, right? And mentally, it takes a toll. But working in corporate America all these years, and while the world burned around us, I've had to sit at my desk 9 to 5 and just pretend like that's not happening, right? And pretend like the SaaS software that I was marketing was more important than my family's safety or my community's safety. And the nice thing about it is today I literally dropped one of my clients, and not because there was like a political difference, but they, you know, it was meant to be part-time, and the bandwidth that they asked for was just more than I was expecting. And the CMO who I was working closely with, like, I expressed a little bit of like what's going on in the world and how, you know, I need to protect my bandwidth. And working for yourself, like not being under a corporate umbrella, like you have the freedom to do that. You have the privilege to do that. You have every right to say, like, my bandwidth right now only has this much bandwidth for work. And be able to say, I now need to take some of my bandwidth and allocate it towards what's going on in the world, towards my mental health, towards where, you know, I think things matter. I know the world will not, you know, the world can't stop running because of these things. But that's just, I guess, one blessing in disguise, right? Like, I spent half the morning crying and trying to get a hold of my family in Iran. And yesterday I dropped my client. And if I hadn't done that, I would be getting passive aggressive messages all morning, as if I was a full-time employee. I was not a full-time employee. I don't say this as a way of like, you can just like use what's going on as an excuse to like not do your work, but just kind of like a blessing in disguise, I guess, of like not having to sit at my 9 to 5 right now working on SaaS software, while I fear for the safety of my community here in Los Angeles, here in America, and the safety of my family and my community in Iran.
Okay, so let's talk about the jobs report real quick. I heard on the news this morning that this is the first jobs report of 2025 where we're actually going to see the impact of decisions made by the federal administration through the data about the labor market. And I read a quote from an article that said the economy is not as sturdy as people believe. So let's get into it. Private payrolls lost 33,000 jobs in June, and they're forecasting to lose 100,000 more in July. And layoffs aren't the only problem. So there's a hesitancy to hire new people, and there's a reluctancy to hire for jobs that were lost. The number of long-term unemployed people increased to 1.6 million. And there was a net decline in jobs added, which has not happened since March of 2023. And before that was like the depths of the pandemic. And they're saying that this is not a bad report. This is just not as solid as it's coming off in the media. I read an interesting quote. A CEO was explaining how companies need visibility into taxes, into what the government is deciding to do before they can even make one hire, because they need all that information before they can add one person to their payroll. And tariffs being on again, off again, makes it really hard for businesses to make these decisions long term. And while they're saying things like unemployment went down to 4.1%, it was 4.2% last month, remember, not all unemployed people are accounted for, okay? And people that are underemployed, people that are taking odd jobs, people that have been unemployed for 18 months don't count in those numbers either. So sometimes you gotta read a few articles, you gotta listen to the news, do a couple things, pick and choose what you want. Okay, and I have to stop here because I promised all my Rise members that if I posted anything over the long weekend, it would not be unemployment related, it would not be job market related, but honestly, I forgot that the jobs report came out today. So sorry to everyone if I broke the promise. I promise my next video won't have anything to do with this. Okay, so my problem with the job market right now, aside from like the lies and the scams and like the overall like icky feeling we all get when we have to like put ourselves on display like we're a show pony, right? Is the fact that candidates are being asked to consider what is the lowest they would value themselves, especially people who are unemployed, especially people who are like desperately looking for work. We're now having conversations with ourselves looking in the mirror of like, what is the absolute lowest dollar amount I would value myself, my time, my skills, my worth? Because that's how people are approaching this. Like they're not able to get opportunities in a field at a fair rate or even close to what they were making prior to their layoff or maybe pre-COVID, whatever their situation looks like right now. So they're being backed into a corner and forced to look at themselves and go, what is my lowest value? And that's how like we're normalizing this conversation, not what can I offer, what can I do? It's like I'm looking at a description and I'm looking at the price and going, do I think I'm worth more than the dollar amount on this role? Would I go that low? And when you're looking at yourself from like a how low would I go negative value, that's going to eat away at your mental health. And that's what a lot of job seekers are dealing with right now.
I just had a fucking job interview. I prepped. I love the company. My fucking anxiety and my nerves got in the way. I kept tripping over my words. And it was so frustrating in the moment. Literally at one point during the interview, I was like, I need to take a deep breath. And I tried so hard to recover, but they literally ended the call short. So I fucking hate it here.
Something that I would have never expected to happen to me ended up happening to me. So I finally got a job after being unemployed for 6 months and just being put through the ringer and facing rejection after rejection and being this close so many times. I finally got a job that I was excited about and I was passionate about it. The weirdest thing is that after I get off this call of them telling me that I got the job, I was with my mom and I told her that I have this weird feeling in my gut that it's going to be taken away from me. And little do you know, 3 days later, I get an email from the company saying that they are rescinding the offer. So at this point, like any human does, I am throwing myself the biggest pity party on this planet. I'm sending out invites to my friends and my family. The invites are stamped with tears. And I just fall into this super dark place that I've been in before. And after facing so much disappointment and rejection, I have learned and mastered the skills of having inner strength, both here and up here, and to be able to pull myself out of these dark places and to dust myself off and try again. And that is a life lesson that I know that I needed to learn. But ultimately, what got me out of this dark place was remembering the mantra that rejection is redirection and divine protection. And I fell off the course of my divine path. And so here I am driving my little car of life, just hitting wall after wall. And the universe had to come in and course correct me. And so I don't know what the destination is that I'm being brought to. But what I do know and what I have faith in is that it is just beyond my wildest imagination and the most beautiful place that is just prepared. All the puzzle pieces are together and they're there and they're just waiting for me to arrive.
Okay, so I lost my job 3 times in 3 years. And do you know how embarrassing it was for me to say that out loud? Do you know how embarrassing it was for me to record a video being like, here is my email that I'm using to network with people. Here's my resume. Can somebody tell me what's wrong? Because I've lost my job 3 times in 3 years and I cannot find my footing. And I was so desperate and depressed and grasping for straws. I had nowhere to turn. And my cousin was like, you should just record a video on TikTok. I think that there's a lot of people in your situation on there that might be able to help. So I did. And the only reason I was able to, and I'm paraphrasing here, get through my professional trauma, because there was a lot of issues that happened in those layoffs and a lot of things that dimmed my light, quieted my voice, that got me to a place of sheer desperation of like, I'm never going to find a job again. What am I going to do? I got to tell somebody, and the people that I know, their advice isn't working. I'm desperate and need to talk to somebody. So I shared on a platform with however many people are on this platform. That's how rock bottom I was. Okay. And I was thinking to myself today, that was back in January 2024, right? I'm thinking to myself, why didn't I go share on LinkedIn? You know, they're sending me this PR box now to get me to speak on their platform. And let me tell you why. It was not a comfortable platform. Okay. It's a platform where people are bragging about the most random stuff. It was so weird. I actually felt so uncomfortable. It was scary to message hiring managers. It was uncomfortable to put yourself out there. I didn't want to say I was open to work because people were saying that if you say you're open to work, that's actually embarrassing. And so I didn't know what to do. The platform that was supposed to support me made me feel so small for needing to use it for what it was actually built for, that I came to a platform that I actually didn't think you could make professional connections on. I just needed some serious help and came on here in January 2024. And the only reason I was I'm sorry for that cut. I got a phone call. Who calls on Saturdays now? They're leaving a voicemail. I'll let you know. It's probably a spam from LinkedIn, right? But anyway, my point is, now they're sending me a PR package to speak up on their platform. And I'm like, do you not understand that I didn't feel comfortable speaking up on your platform? So I came to another platform, and I'm sort of struggling with how to use my voice, because the only reason I have my voice is because of the community that I built here. The community of people that were like, oh my God, me too. And I'm so afraid to speak up. I'm afraid to advocate for myself in a professional way on a professional platform, because they make you feel so small. When you have nothing to brag about, you feel so small. So I'm just thinking, these are my Saturday post-gym thoughts. Does anybody have anything they want to say or ask me?
Behind the statistics are real human lives. Thousands of people are lost and uncertain. Families face sudden financial pressure, and many are forced to take lower paying jobs just to survive. This doesn't just affect the wallets, but it damages the trust of people, weakens communities, and pushes skilled workers to the sideline. And when an economy sideline is most experienced people, it loses wisdom that took decades to build. The job market today is like a slow burning fire. On the surface, things look stable, but underneath, it keeps spreading. We all need to face the truth. The job security is now an illusion. The real question is not only how do I find a new job, but how do I adapt to a world where a job can vanish after 1 minute? Those who don't prepare will be the first one to lose when the music stops. So if you found this video helpful, please share it to your friends and subscribe to my channel as a big motivation to me. And let me know what you're thinking about this problem in the comment section below, and share it with other viewers as well. And I'll see you again in the next video. Peace.